1, 2, 3. I've been running from the pain, trying not to feel the same, but it's a shame that we miss again. See, my confidence is shaking and my heart is feeling vacant, so you try to fill it in. You said I could fix the broken in your heart. Your words safe, darling, but I don't know why you're shooting in the dark. I got faith in nothing. But love, pray for me. I never had somebody, so I don't know how to love. Pray for me. I know I need somebody, so I can learn how to love.
About the trip, I enjoyed how we made the most of the short amount of time that we were there. I was kind of worried we'd spend more time than promised in the classrooms, but I felt like we really got to be out and exploring and making the most of the fact that we were seeing the sites that we'd read about previously. I loved walking around exploring Dublin. When we were there, it seemed like we had the most free time to kind of see things for our own selves, and that autonomy was huge because I think I discovered some of the best restaurants, having the best brunch, the best places to hang out and dance and have a good time, listen to some live music. So we got a good handle on the culture as well just by having the free time. And then I enjoyed the bonding in the Inch House. It was close quarters, but I think some of my best memories were snuggled up in the room with 5 beds.
There was one guest speaker in Northern Ireland, and he talked about the Omagh bombing.
Yes.
And his son died in a store that day in Omagh, and they still didn't have justice for him. And so I think that was definitely my favorite guest speaker because they were going to court and fighting for their son's justice, and it just made you realize there's a lot of tragedy in that country, and they know how to cope with it well and fight for justice of their son.
For me, I think my favorite part of the trip was going to Creekery Bridge. It was one of the days when we were up at Inch Island. That day we went to Creekery Bridge and Giant's Causeway, and it was beautiful. You could see Scotland from where you were, and the water was so clear, and it was kind of the true Ireland green everywhere. And I really enjoyed that. If I ever go back to Ireland, I really want to go there again.
Put your phone away, I know you wanna check it. This is one of those nights, and I don't wanna wreck it with distractions and worries about what all could go wrong tomorrow. Just live in this moment and know that there's no time to borrow. It's crazy, crazy world out there, but baby, baby, don't be scared, 'cause I got you and you got me. We can set each other free. One day, when we're old, we'll look back, and we'll know we always kept our dreams alive. Loved and laughed until we cried. Rule the streets until the morning light. Singing long, live tonight.
I think I would pay attention to some of the little details in what everyone said because I kind of took each story from the guest speakers as isolated incidents and isolated testimonies, but I think I would have got a lot more out of it if I kind of started to weave connections in throughout what everyone had to say, because each story, although it was about the individual, I think they each kind of spoke volumes without kind of being explicit about some of the themes of the Troubles in the Civil War. So if I had paid more attention to them as a whole as opposed to an individual, I think I would have reaped a lot more out of it.
Before Big John, when we were in Derry, because he actually lived through the events that he was talking about, and we were just all kind of tired and a little bit cold because we didn't dress appropriately. So that's important to remember, to always have the right clothes and just be prepared for like change in weather. Like it's always going to rain randomly, and then it will be sunny 5 minutes later, and then it will be windy. So just bring like a sweatshirt and a rain jacket everywhere you go. But yeah, that day we just didn't really pay full attention to what he was saying because he lived through, I guess, the Battle of the Bogside, and it was just crazy to hear. And he had actual pictures, and he was like standing in the same spot that a dead body was standing in and talking about it. And I just didn't really soak that in as much as I should have.
Live tonight. I know no spot, it ain't that cool, but they got a little dance floor, we can act like fools. We'll ask the DJ to play every song from the 90s. We'll tear it up till the sun starts to rise and it's blinding. It's crazy, crazy world out there, but baby, baby, don't be scared, 'cause I got you and you got me, we can set each other free. And one day, when we're old, we'll look back, and we'll know we always kept our dreams alive, loved and laughed until we cried, ruled the streets until the morning light, singing along.
The food was better than I expected, but other than that, it was, but mostly just in Dublin as opposed to when I was in Northern Ireland. The people really did surprise me. They were just a lot more kind of reclusive, and that kind of country lifestyle was a lot more antiquated than I imagined. But Dublin was like the Vegas of Europe, and I kind of expected it to be such a big mix of people. I didn't expect as many people from all around Europe. I met so many people from Germany, Austria, and Italy, and just all over the world almost. They seem to all go to Dublin because it has that kind of loud, not stereotypical Irish, but it is there, and people are having a good time, and it's a city. So that was kind of what I expected, but I was surprised at how almost pulled back life in Northern Ireland was.
So I know we all have our like stereotypical like Irish image in our head and what the people look like, orange hair kind of thing. It was a little different, but it wasn't something completely different that I wasn't expecting. The people in Dublin were super, super nice, and they were very friendly, would talk to you, would help you when you couldn't count the money correctly. They were very nice in giving directions. Taxi drivers were really awesome. When we went to Northern Ireland, it was a little different. You could just sense kind of a difference in the air when we were there. But nothing was really like too different from what I thought it was. I mean, clearly everything was green. There was a lot of grass and everything when we went up to Inch Island, so that was kind of stereotypical in that aspect, but the people were just like us, I guess.
I used to roll my eyes about it because people would come back and talk about how it changed their lives. But it wasn't until I actually went that I realized how important it is, because traveling is a luxury, but being able to pair it with your education really makes it kind of the more bang for your buck. And I think it's a good way to get out of your comfort zone. It's a good way to learn a little bit more about things that maybe you hadn't before, and then also it's much fun. And I think that we waste a lot of time in college worrying about things that are logistics or what's going to be best for our future, but in that process we forget that doing things that are fun is also very possible. So I think if you have the chance to do it, it's extremely, extremely beneficial.
I think it's very important because like before you go to all these events and they're talking about their experiences abroad, and you can't relate to the programs that they went to because it doesn't align with your major, or like something where you like never wanted to go. So you're just sitting there listening and thinking, okay, I'm sure it was a great experience, but could it really be like life changing? And I would say that it definitely is. Once you come back, you realize like the memories you made and the friendships you formed were really invaluable, and you can't really get that anywhere else because At one point of the trip, there were 5 girls in really tiny twin beds, and we stayed there for 9 days, and that was like the best bonding experience that we could have asked for because we just got so close. And there were times when we just had to kind of adjust to different plans or the weather changing, or we had to turn an assignment, and we all just kind of helped each other and we made each other comfortable in an foreign environment. So